Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Wow. Okay, where do I want to start? Homegirl said, is it black women losing their jobs or are they starting businesses? Oh no, the delusion, the delusion. Shout out to black women. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Okay, links are in the description box. Links are in the description box. Shout out to the replay game. So now we're hearing more and more of black women losing these jobs. It's not something to brag about. We got to keep our head on a swivel. As I've said before, what happens when what happens when white conservative men go on the attack and they break the backs of their white liberal sisters? What happens to black women? Excuse me. What happens to black women? I need to find. I already found it. I need to download the clip and play it for when Jasmine Crockett was speaking about a DEI in Congress, because Jasmine Crockett knows that there's no such thing as black girl magic. Whether she'll say it or not is a different conversation, but she knows that there is no such thing as black girl magic. There are systems, there are institutions, there are people advocating for you, right? There is the society making a space for you, having a place for you. And what happens when white men say about that, dear black women, you go sit this one out, huh? It made it worse when Mr. Z found out, oh, it was 106,000 jobs in April, but it's been 300 and some odd thousand jobs since 2025, since the beginning of 2025. Black adult women only account for what? 21, 22, 20 million people? 300 and some odd thousand jobs in less than 6 months is significant. That's significant. Now we don't. That's not saying that all of these people haven't found a new gig, especially if you're one of the people that got let go or got fired early in January, sometime in February. You might have found a new gig by now. But last time I checked, doesn't it take on average some 6 or so months for people to find a new job? 6 or 9 months, something like that, right? Last time I checked. So if that's on average for your average American, what is it for black people, black women in specific? Huh? Mr. Z's been saying for a while now, black women, you either gonna get on black men's program or you gonna struggle. Some of you said, fine, then we'll struggle. All right, we're gonna see about that. Y'all know Mr. Z phrase, we're gonna make you feel that. Huh? We're going to make you feel that. Most black men are not part of no black manosphere. Most black men don't engage with the black manosphere, but they can smell you being an asshole. They can see your mean, snarky, rude, entitled brat ways. Your rude ways, your smug ways, your sassy ways. And they stay away. Look at Z Ryman. Huh? Yikes. And Revelot says, no black girl magic, just black girl handouts. That's people in general, right? That's everyone but black men. Everybody in America is getting handouts except for black men. Everyone have a space carved out in them for them in America except for black men. Black men are the only ones. Everybody else is good. Huh? And let this be a lesson to all of us, not just black women. What happens when the system says you sit this one out? Didn't that happen to black men back in what, 2016? 21% of us were unemployed, give or take, for some time out of the year. 21% or so of black men were unemployed in 2016. Somebody correct Z if I'm lying. Somebody tell Z if I'm lying. Huh? Black women, what happens when the system says, you know what? We need to make space for some other group. We are putting our foot to white women's rear end, but we still need them to work. We need to move some of you out the way. We got to bring in some more Latinas. We got to bring in some of these Eastern Europeans. These Ukrainian women need jobs now. Oops. Huh? The Ukrainian women need jobs. Uh-oh. Those South African women, not all of them are going to be farmers. Some of them need jobs. Those white South African women, those Afrikaners. Oops. Huh? What you thought happened to black men in the 60s and 70s? Uh-oh. Z, you're not supposed to say that. What you think happened to black men in the 80s? Z, you're not supposed to tell them that. They supposed to think that black men were getting locked up because black men were some evil crime doers, not because America was trying to make space for recent immigrants. Ooh. Black girl magic. I don't need no man. We're gonna see about that. Huh? It's not something to brag about. We're gonna see about that. LLC Twitter. You think black women were on LLC Twitter before? You think that's what they were on before? Let's see how many beads and minuscule jewelry and right LLC Twitter black women are going to be engaging in over the next couple years. It ain't looking good. It's not looking good, dear black men. Be careful around everyone. I'm not trying to make y'all paranoid, but these people go about to be struggling, not just black women. Huh? Yikes. And it is what Black Uru said. It's what Sagar said. Even though we don't rock with Sagar over here like that, Sagar and Jetty from Breaking Points. It's what Crystal Ball said. You're going to have a different relationship with things. With things. Maybe you don't replace that phone every 2 years now. That cell phone. Maybe you're gonna have to hold on to that TV for a decade. Huh? Maybe your starter home isn't a starter home no more anymore. That's your home. You're gonna be there for the next 4 decades or until you pass. Huh? Until your kids move you into their house because you're too old now. Huh? Uh-oh. Watch. It was kind of sad listening to that young lady say what she said. I'm referencing a clip from O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel. Link is in the description box. Link is in the description box. It was kind of sad because you could tell she can't process, she can't accept that no, the system is saying, dear black women, Uncle Phil, right? Uncle Phil to Jazzy Jeff out the window. She can't accept that this is what's going on right now. She can't. I said it already. Vivek, JD Vance, they see black women and negative. They see black women's negative liberty as an affront to everything they stand for. Black women, you've been way too loud over the past few decades. Look how the white guys in the UK treated Dr. Sabrina Strings. As much as we disagree with Dr. Sabrina Strings, we would let her talk. We would let her talk. We wouldn't bring her on just to fuss her out and then kick her off in 2-3 minutes. Mock her and then kick her off in 2-3 minutes. That's what the white guys are on right now with black women. Dear black women. For those of us who remember a couple years ago, we had some failed divester with a mixed kid pop up on the Roger Reports channel talking all type of craziness. Y'all know we gave that lady advice when the show ended, right? We told her it was in the end of the world, right? Y'all saw a bit of it towards the end when the show. I'm not gonna give too much away because it's in the back chat and whatnot. We were speaking to her, but yeah, brotherly love type thing. for a woman who jumped on the Roger Reports channel talking crap to us. Huh? Yikes. And Trail, they were. And Trail says those UK guys were rude as F. They, man, as much as I disagree with these folks, y'all recall Mr. Z at one point, I thought Kim Foster, she dropped out of Harvard, but I realized that she didn't. Shout out to Obsidian for correcting me on that. I always give her props on that. I call the PhDs, regardless if I agree with them or not. Dr. Sabrina Strings, Dr. Chris Marsh, you respect them. You respect what they had to do to get there. I look at Oprah as one of the worst things to ever happen to the black community. I still respect the lady because even with that, she is a dark-skinned black woman that had to make a way out of no way in America. As much as I disagree with this lady. Huh? The white guys don't have that type of respect. If they disagree with you, particularly as a black woman, F everything you got to say. F your position, F how hard you have to work for it, forget everything. Right? Look how they spoke about Kamala Harris. We don't like Kamala Harris over here. Even the brothers that voted for Kamala don't like her. Nobody likes Kamala Harris. Huh? But look how the white guys talk about Michelle. They still talk about Michelle like she's a dude. That's the world you're in now, black women. That's the world you've been in for the longest. But the white men took the gloves off. White men took the gloves off. 300 and some odd thousand jobs in less than 6 months for a population of less than 25 million. Adult women, adult black women. All right. Huh? That doesn't mean that continues. That doesn't mean that continues at that rate. Excuse me, at that rate. But it is something to be weary about. The white guys won't stop. Take it from a black man. They won't stop. Huh? You better get on the black man's program. Y'all better be running for the raps. Huh? Ah. Huh? Thank you, Trill. What happens backstage, stay backstage. That's all I only told you what I told you. Huh? Th- that's the part that really got me, was listening to that young lady not accept. No, the system right now, the society right now is saying, yeah, black women, we gonna put you on timeout. And you had to expect that from JD Vance and Donald Trump. Huh? When they think of federal jobs, they don't think of retired military men, white men. They don't think of those folks. Huh? They don't think of their mothers who've been working for local government for the past 25 years. Their mothers who are secretaries, their white mothers. They don't think of them. Huh? They don't think of their uncle who's been a municipal worker in the city for the past 25 years. Huh? They don't think of that. They think of a black woman at the DMV. A neck rolling, overweight, dark skinned black woman at the DMV. That's what they think of. Huh? They think of people having them waiting in line for 3 hours just to tell them, oh yeah, you weren't supposed to be here today. You're supposed to come here tomorrow. We know it's racist. And, huh? We appreciate what the white guys are. We know. Did you? We about to see. Black Girl Magic real? We about to see. Huh? That I'll make it out of no way. I'll make a way out of no way. We about to see. Single and childless black women have the least amount of wealth in America. I got into a back. Yes, people are still commenting under that post I posted with FD. How long ago was that? A month now. People still in the comments. A lady just popped up and said, "You know, we would rather be with the Rose," and then she gave the color purple stories. Ma'am, if you're listening right now, black men are tired of y'all with these color purple tropes, with these waiting to excel tropes. That's why y'all don't got no money now and no man, and y'all are horny, lonely, and single and miserable, pretending like you're not. She literally said, "We would rather be with the Rose than be with a man that hates us and that beats on us." That, man, what movies are you watching? That's not how the black community works, and you know it. Ma'am, we're not the white women that y'all sell those stories to. If you're listening, y'all would rather be with the Rose? We gonna make sure of that. We'll see. Huh? Check my community tab. Check the most recent post that I posted with of what FD covered, what it was that he covered. Oh, what was it again? Yeah, black men in college. And then literally, and I read her the riot act. You bet y'all know Mr. Z. F your logical fallacies. I definitely shamed her. Huh? Talk about, and y'all keep black women's name in your mouth. I'm black. It's my job. Oh, you better believe Mr. Z played older brother. I'm black. That's my job. My job is to warn black women. Oops. You picked the wrong one, ma'am. You picked the wrong one. I'm not one of those other Negroes, ma'am. I will shame the hell out of you. Shame, blame, and explain. Oh, yeah, Mr. Z engages in that all day, every day. And to hell with all the rest of the black men in the black manosphere that say, Z, they don't care what you're talking about. You wasting your breath. I'll waste my breath then. Huh? That's my job. Huh? You can't shame me. Watch me. Huh? Homegirl said, "I'll keep black women in your mouth." I'm black, ma'am. Wait a minute. What? How you sound? Y'all sound That's why I keep on saying black men and black women are attached by the hip. Whenever somebody comes out of the mouth like this, black man or black women, you know that look like what? Wait, what? How y'all sound? And black men keep black women's name in their mouth. What? They're not supposed to? Wait, nobody else does. Oops. Y'all better be glad black men keep y'all name in their mouth. If you would act right with, anyways, you know, you don't even got to do that. Z. You don't even got to do that. Anyway, right? Wow. So yeah, everyone. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. If America is doing to black women what we think it's doing to black women, this is gonna hurt. And it's gonna hurt to watch them go through this. I said this on Dr. T. Hassan's channel a few months ago. Right? Yikes. Huh? On to the next one. Okay. So for those of you that checked me out on Dr. Thunder's channel yesterday, well, will you look at that? If y'all click the link in the description box and checked out Twitter, you'll see what Mr. Z is talking about. Homegirl has a white boyfriend, but of course she does. And the white folks in the comments are flaming her ass. It's a bunch of talks of typical, and a couple of white guys kind of get it too, right? They kind of get it, like in their minds, and they get it. If she really believes in the racial hierarchy, then why wouldn't she have a white boyfriend? Some of the white guys are in there like, oh yeah, she's projecting. A few of them, right? Now the rest of them that don't get it, the slow ones, are like, oh, he's probably a beta, or he's cucked, or she probably's bending him over. You don't get it. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up, slow ass. I just want to remember these are people that supposedly have high IQ. These are the people that like to mock black folks and say we're the ones with low IQ, right? Huh. With that, Yeah, she has a white dude. Okay, good on her. Who didn't see that one coming? Huh? It's getting and Mr. Z screenshot a picture of their a dear black women. These white guys are taking notes. They counting. One of the white guys went through all the names of all the women of color who are supposedly Democrats or supposedly leftists. Talk about race in this way, but have white spouses. And it wasn't just women. They put Dawn Lemon up there, right? They put Ilhan Omar up there. There was a number of them, huh? They put Kamala Harris up there. Yikes, huh? The white folks are paying attention. Dear black women, y'all can't keep pulling this stunt. I'm gonna talk about racism and anti-black this and I'm that, but I'm gonna be getting bent over by a white guy. What's the one? What's the mayor out of there out of Chicago that looked low key like Morgan Freeman? They put her up there with her white wife, huh? That's hysterical, Mr. Shook to you, right? And yeah, they kept on saying stuff like that. Exactly, Saints here. Radfem in the streets colonized, bowing to the white male patriarchy in the sheets. They didn't say exactly those words, but definitely that um feminists in the streets colonizing the sheets. They were saying stuff like that, and this is coming from white folks. This is coming from white dudes, huh? Shout out to all the black women that think white men don't know. They know. Shout out to all the black women who think white men don't know. White men know they could get you if they wanted you. No, we're too loyal to black men. That's the issue. You're too loyal to black men in America, or is it the white guys know that if they wanted, they could pipe and they'll toss back? And the majority of black men just won't. They're the majority of black men are just not gonna be stepdaddy to some mixed kid from a white guy. They're just not. This is not Jim Crow anymore. This is not the plantation anymore. So, dear black women, you just gonna be out there just being passed around by white guys after that. Because how many white guys are gonna follow up behind another white guy for a black woman? Oof, oof, huh? Yikes. But yeah, Saint Cyr was all those type of comments. Once again, Saint Cyr says, Radfem in the streets, colonized, bowing to white male patriarchy in the sheets. Ah, sure, that's hysterical. I ain't even gonna read that one out loud. That's hysterical. And Mr. Shook to you says, Z, I'm qualified to speak on black women. Not only did I come out of a black woman, I like going back in them. It is true. It's only funny because it's true, huh? So everybody sees what's going on here. Huh? Everyone sees women of color in this white male peen chase while you mock and make fun of and talk all this anti systems of oppression while you're trying to get real snug underneath, pun intended, white male patriarchy. Everyone sees it. Dear women of color, black women in specific, everyone sees it, right? The other women of color who's not engaging in it see it. Men of color, obviously, we see it. And yes, believe it or not, white men and women see it also. They know it also. I don't know how difficult it's going to be able to find that clip, but even Gary Owens made an off the cuff remark on stage one time about his ex-wife. You know, everybody thinks, black women, white man, and you going to be the white man with all the money. And no, no. When I met my wife, I'm the one who comes from Jennifer. I'm the one with this. She the one who comes from a good family. And da da da. That was a throwaway line. He know, huh? Everybody knows what y'all on. Dear black women, you're not hiding anything from anyone. Shout out to all you black women with the secret sex with the white guys, and it don't turn anything into anything. With that, pause right there. Mr. Z did check out BGS's most recent, I said previous, most recent stream where he was talking about Sabby Sabs and Shay Sade and yeah, I knew Sabby Sabs was married to a white person, white dude. Yeah, but the clip that Sabby Sab played that we all seen from ABC or whatever it was from like I don't know, damn near 20 years ago. And that's the clip I was talking about with the light. I've mentioned this a couple of times on my channel and others. The light skinned sister, very attractive. Was physical? I said physical. Chemist or whatever she was, very attractive sister. That was the one that said she was at the bar and she locked eyes with a white dude, and they kind of was like kind of doing the whole you know, checking thing. And like he got up and walked away, or did she say they had a good conversation? But then he got up and walked away. Yeah, what you thought? Huh? Shout out to Savvy Sabs trying to make a good thing out of nothing. You know, this was about 15 years ago, and you never know. These women are married. Maybe. Oh, no, she didn't say that. These women might be married. Yeah, maybe. 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 Probably not. Right? Yes, Saint Cyr. And Saint Cyr says, remember the Indian chick with the man in the street, with the man on the street interview? See, Shorty said that a man didn't have need to make any money. That ended up saying, okay, at least 60K. Yeah, well, we look, and she was talking about white men. Let's be very clear, right? So yeah, the man on the street. I still have it saved somewhere. The Indian chick, man on the street interview. Um, the guy asked her what's her type. She said white men. And the guy, you know, started talking about money, and she was like, "Oh, I don't need him to work." And then after being pressed, she was like, okay, maybe if he makes 60K, he can make 60K. Look, man, everyone knows what society we live in. When white men start messing with, and let me be clear, white men are getting subsidized left and right by a bunch of women, by white women, that's why it's always hysterical to listen to black women talk about dating white men like it's some panacea, like they're gonna be daying up financially. Maybe not. White men know their position in this society. I forgot what Laura told Shay Sade. Laura is a white woman who grew up middle class, trending towards upper middle class, and she told you the males in her family married up, and they all married white. White men know what they are in this society to you women. White, Latina, Asian, black, they know. Huh? White men stay marrying up. His white skin pays in dividends. Huh? The Asian women are gonna have a hopper baby. Black women gonna have their light skin. What only logic could call it a magical mixed race baby. Huh? The Indian women gonna have a lighter skin baby, right? Shout out to JD Vance. Oops. Huh? Yikes. White men know what they are to these women of color. They know. Huh? The Latina women with the darker skin, more indigenous looking Latina women have a kid from a white guy. Now that kid is higher up on the hierarchy in the Latino community. Everybody knows what this is, bro. Listen, if you live on planet Earth, we all know what it is. We're acting like we don't. Everyone's acting dumb. Everyone, love is love, and you can't help who you love. And why does everybody so hyper focus on race? And it's not about race. And yeah, all that shit sound nice. All that sound nice. That's not what it is, and everyone knows it. People, namely the women, are all jockeying for position. Pun intended. Huh? The white guys know this, and they eeny, meeny, miny, mo y'all selectively. Huh? Yikes. So, yeah, no, white guys appreciate the hierarchy. They know what it is, and that's why you saw them in the comments on Twitter, excuse me. See, you ain't gonna call it X. I called it what I called it on Twitter. When essentially what they were saying is typical, and we're not surprised. Huh? Now, some of them who are slow on the uptake don't. This is what happens when you start believing your own hype, and you end up in these echo chambers, in these bubbles. where you can't even begin to imagine another person's reality. You can't even entertain it for 5 seconds to appreciate why someone, as much as you might disagree with them, right? You can't even imagine why would this person do this way. This is one of white folks' biggest blind spot, white men in particular, biggest blind spot, particularly white conservative dudes. Their head is so far up their own ass, they could never think, I wonder, did our ancestors and us create and perpetuate a system that screws people over so much that they talk out of both sides of their mouth? They're anti-systems of oppression, but yet they want to get with the people who are creating the systems of oppression. Could women be operating in that way? Huh? If power is an aphrodisiac, and we know it is for women, right? If power is an aphrodisiac, what happens when you're a white man in America? Huh? For all the slow bus white dudes in the back. Wait, you wait a minute, you thought it was your personality? Wait, you thought it was the sex? Get out of here. Wait, what you thought it was? Wait, you thought it was you're so interesting, you're so smart? Okay, yeah, that's it. You really bought into your own hype of high IQ. Yeah. Mhm. Huh? Yikes. Huh? This is what happens when you believe your own hype. This is how you get sideswiped by China. Oops. You believe your own hype. You believe that your position is ordained, or you're that talented, or you're that smart. It's not that America makes sure to have positions for you. And when America doesn't make sure to have positions for you, or when they put the thumb on the scale for your sisters, well, white guys, you end up kind of how you are now. Huh? Shout out to those of you who still don't get it yet, slow ass. Huh? So, um, continuing. All right. Sarge Willie Pete. Oh, Sarge. So Sarge shows a bunch of clips, and Sarge is also showing the clips, I guess, that Z has been watching also with the white women on these man on the street interviews, white women pretty much pining over black men. Um, and as Sarge said, some of these men on the street interviewers, they're not black. So it's white men or not black men asking white women what their preference is. And white women are saying black men. So once again, black men are not next to them. Black men are not the ones who are interviewing them. And these random white women are saying their preference is black men. And Mr. Z has seen the comments also. Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete. And the white guys are in the comments crashing out and talking all type of monkey talk and talking about all type of, oh, she gonna be a baby mama talk and all of that. IQ talk. Bro, y'all are as interesting as a cardboard. What women wants to be around a dude that envies other men this way? I want you to appreciate you're supposed to be on top of the hierarchy. You forgot. Oh, that's the oh Z. Wait a minute, you got it, Z. You finally got it, Z. Women of color and white men think that white men should be able to do whatever the hell they want to do with whoever they want to do it with because they're on top of the hierarchy. Oh, but men of color, namely black men, who are supposed to be on the bottom of the hierarchy, are supposed to be scrounging for crumbs. The problem is that black men are upsetting the apple cart. Black men have flipped the pyramid upside down, and that's not right. It ain't right. That's not right. Black men are not supposed to be desirable. They're supposed to be the bottom. in more ways than one. Huh? Oh, that's the issue that black women have and that white men have, is that black men should be forced to accept everyone's sloppy seconds. Black men should be happy for whatever they get. Black men should be accustomed to women and men being rude to them, mean to them, disrespectful to them. Black men should be okay with not being desirable, with being undesirable. And the problem is that it looks like black men are skipping the line. That's white men's problem. That's black women's problem. How dare black men who aren't the face of economic power, who aren't the face of political power, who aren't the face of building and all of this, how dare black men skip the line and be desirable by women outside of their group, by women in their group? Oh, I get it. Unfortunately for white men and black women, that's not how it works. Not for black men anyway. Huh? Uh-oh. So yeah, to what Sarge is saying, but listen, Sarge, black women gonna do what they want to do, how they want to do it. Black women hate being black, bro. Black women hate being black. And I don't really know how you fix that. It's not about black men winning a race war. Cut it out. Black women's issue is that they live on a planet with white women. Huh? They live on a planet with, they live in a solar system in a galaxy with white women. Huh? And their insatiable inferiority complex can't be quelched with ending up with a black man of note. Not enough. It's not enough. Huh? So you playing the clips of the white women lusting after. This is black women's issue. A handful of white men might find a number of black women attractive, but how many man on the street interviews are you going to have to do to find the one-off white guy that says, I not only prefer black women, that's my thing. Huh? And say it with all the enthusiasm. Do we know that there's white men that find black women attractive? Yes, an attractive black woman is attractive. An attractive black woman is attractive. Are there white guys that find black women attractive? Yes. Are there white guys that marry black women? Yes. How many and how easy is it to find? How easy is it to find one that's enthusiastic, who you're going to randomly ask on a man on the street interview? And Sarge is correct. When you look at the marriage rate, most people by far are married within race. Huh? The issue that black women have is that white women are more likely to be public with their lust for black men, the Latinas that like black men, the Asian women that like black men, the Asian women that like white men. They're more public with their lust for these men. Whereas that's going to be a bit more difficult to find with men. First of all, we don't socialize men to say those things out there in public. That's when we start getting to, you're objectifying her. Y'all forgot? That's number one. Can't be speaking out of both sides of your mouth. Number two, how easy is it for a white guy to sound like Machine Gun Kelly? Yikes. And then you never see him with another black woman. Uh-oh. You know who gives the best head? Black women. You know, black women get the head. Did that. He ain't touched nothing black publicly since. Huh? Yeah. Look, I appreciate that black women are pissed. They're angry. I get it, Sarge. I get it. Huh? But black women told us that they don't owe us anything, Sarge. Dear Sarge Willie P, black women have been saying my entire life, your entire life, how much they don't owe black men anything. They've said it, they've implied it, they suggested it. They've been very blatant. And I will not accept any of the hierarchy talk. It's different when we do it, and you gotta understand. I don't gotta understand a damn thing. So with that, if black women don't owe black men kindness and understanding, being cordial, smiling, being pleasant, being nice, being present, defending the image of black men, huh? Advocating for black men and boys, all in those colleges and in those universities, right? Advocating for black men both in public and in private. If black women don't owe black men that, for all the black women that say, I'm pro black woman, I'm not pro black. Okay, fine. Then you get what you get. Black men don't owe you first right of refusal. If you owe black men nothing, let's be very clear, this is not sustainable. Mr. Z has been accepted that. Mr. Z has been saying that this is not sustainable. But if black women said they owe us nothing until we're rich and famous, then you better choose up on a black woman. Absolutely not. We don't owe them first right of refusal when and if we become successful. When and if we become rich, to pick an attractive dark-skinned black woman, for them more likely an unattractive dark-skinned black woman. That's who they really want to be elevated by a rich, very attractive, successful black man. We don't owe them that. First right of refusal, we don't owe them first right of refusal. Dear black women, we don't owe you that. Either you on black men's program or you're not. And if you're not, we owe you nothing. Partnership, we don't owe you that, and we're not doing it. Shout out to you, Kim Foster. 106,000 jobs in 1 month. Huh? And it's not just low-level jobs either, before anybody thinks that. Uh-oh. Huh? This is not sustainable, but this is what black women ask for. You wanted your hyper-independence? You got that. You didn't want to be on a black man's program? You got that. Don't want to have any children? You got that. Huh? Negative liberty? You got that. Huh? Black men are dusty, right? Okay, fine. You got that. Yikes. Mr. Z will accept this is not sustainable because it's not. It's not sustainable. But this is what black women wanted. You wanted your independence. You got it. You would rather be single. You're not settling. You're not settling. Yes, the clip that Sabby Sabs played from ABC, however long ago it was. That light skinned lady said, "I'm not settling. I'm not gonna settle. Damn their 20-year-old interview. I'm not gonna settle." Women on Kevin Samuel's show 4 years ago, right? I'm not gonna settle. Women now, I'm not gonna settle. I would rather be single. We're gonna make you mean that. Huh? We're going to make you mean that. And I have to say this every time I say that. We're going to make you mean that. Remember, most black men do not interact with any manosphere or black manosphere. You're enough. Dear black women, your asshole ways are enough. When Mr. Z says we gonna make you mean that, what Mr. Z is saying is you are gonna make black men mean that. Or better yet, your attitude, personality, the way you speak, the way you conduct yourself, the way you think about black men is going to force black men to make you mean that. In other words, they're going to stay the hell away from you. They're gonna stay the hell away from you, huh? The young men are gonna stay the hell away from you. Wait a minute, they already are. Shout out to all the young dudes, young black men under the age of 30, popping up to the family get together with the Latina, huh? Popping up to their high school graduation party with the Latina, huh? Popping up to their college graduation, taking the college graduation pictures with their white girlfriend, huh? Celebrating getting their master's degree with their Asian girlfriend. Yikes, huh? First right of refusal, Sarge. Yeah, no, no. Individual black men who have better experiences. Yeah, maybe. If you're that brother and the sisters around the way were giving you that type of play, look at Mr. Z Robin. Yeah, you, yes, huh? If you had that type of experience, yes. Okay, fine. But for the masses of black men who black girls and black women gave them their ass to kiss, absolutely not. Sarge, we don't owe black women kindness and consideration when they gave us their ass to kiss because white society was flicking off a couple of crumbs to them, right? And using them as counterinsurgency. Absolutely not. Huh? Absolutely not. We don't owe black women who've been intellectualizing their misandry for decades. Their misandry towards black men, we don't owe black women our presence. Why? Because of some guilt? Because of slavery? Because of Jim Crow? Huh? Black men don't owe black women because black women want to throw Jim Crow in black men's faces. Black women will get on black men's program, or they gonna have to do whatever they do outside. Whether it's pills, whether it's munching on each other, whether it's the rose toy, huh? Whether it's being the sexual plaything for some non-black man hoping that he marries her one day. Whatever other option they have, that's what they're gonna have to engage in. But if Sarge, if black women are not on a black man's program, then why? Do what for who? That's a real question. Do what for who? Low key, I really want to say if you're not on a black man's program, I don't even think we should call you black. God damn, Z. Huh? What black women don't appreciate, Sarge, is that it's a new day and all of those old, tired shaming tactics don't work on brothers under the age of 40. I have a number of brothers in my comments that's over the age of 40. They'll be like, to hell with that, Z. They don't work on the dudes under the age of 50. All those old, tired shaming tactics, the you owe me for slavery, huh? You owe me because of Jim Crow? Brother, have you heard the young men under the age of 30? They'll laugh in a black woman's face. When a black, it's not the same. It's not the same when I date out and when you date out. See, when I date out, me and the white man, we have a connection. It's mutual. It's genuine. When you see you and the white woman, it's lust. The brothers will laugh in a black woman's face. Them brothers under the age of 30 will laugh in a black woman's face. You don't appreciate how those brothers saw that interview, that conversation with Dr. Umar Johnson and the brothers from Daily Wrap Up Crew. When he was trying to appreciate Dr. Umar Johnson, and Sarge said this also, trying to shame childless black men for black women's behavior. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, them young there's nothing that annoys them more than black men telling them Black men like Dr. Umar Johnson and black women either suggesting, implying, or inferring that black men owe black women because of slavery and Jim Crow, not some brotherly, sisterly love thing, not some community talk, no, some shaming talk. Yeah, nope. Quicker to make him pop up with a Latina or a white girl or Asian woman if he could get her away from the white guys. Huh? So if black women are watching these man on the street interviews also, and the random white girl is drooling over it, and we already know most of these white women, they've never done anything with a black man. And if they do, they still probably gonna go back home to a white guy. They're gonna marry a white guy. They're doing what they're doing in their teens, in their early 20s, right? They graduate, they move back home, and they end up with, basic Bob ass white dude. Meanwhile, when she was 22 years old, Tyrone had his 8.5 member all up in her. We know how it go. Shout out to Sarah Palin. Oops, goddamn Z. Ooh, you wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Huh? We know how it go. But if black women are insecure about that, that's on them. You should have had your daughters competing. The problem is you don't think your daughter should have to compete for black boys and black men. You think it should be a given. Black women should go to school, get their education. Okay, fine. Mr. Z agrees with that. Don't worry about no boys. Okay. Particularly the black ones, obviously. Huh? Hold out for hope that a non-black man with some money and status sees you and elevates you. And then when that doesn't happen, then you could fall back on black men. Yeah, no. And for the black women that are actually interested in black men, and it's never been about any non-black man, but the black man better be on your program, yeah, about that. You might as well be swirling and divesting if it's up to Z. If you're not on the black man's program, you might as well be swirling and divesting. The second you start talking about this partnership talk, you might as well be swirling and divesting or being LGBTQ. That's what it sounds like. Goddamn. Huh? Shout out to black women. If you're not on a black man's program, yes, Mr. Z said it. Y'all heard it here. If you're not on a black man's program, you might as well swirl and divest. You might as well listen to Chrissy, listen to Divested Zealot. Huh? Go listen to Cynthia G. Shout out to Paris Malone, wherever the hell she is. Kentaji chose better. Serena chose better. Kamala chose better. Yeah, you could be one of those. Is it going to work for you? Probably not. But still. Huh? To be fair, that's what it should be. Huh? If you're not on a black man's program, then, well.
Mario, Jorge, Cartwright, Shang Tsung, we got a thrift store of leftover bitches. They're leftover because apparently it ain't enough niggas is worth a damn. Whatever. Point is they leftover. We need you to come pick them up. No instruction manual. Figure it out. Sprinkle some white ice on it. Maybe, I've heard the white ice is colder. Sprinkle some white ice on it. It goes with everything. If you come within the next 24 hours, we'll give you a complimentary book on how to date black women for white men. That's a $4 value.
Huh? That's what we on now. Yeah, that's what we on now. Dear black women, that is what black men are on now. We gonna make you mean that. You happier being single, we gonna make you mean that. All the black women who say that. I saw and I heard what you said, Jason Black. You can't threaten women, you can't threaten black women with this. We ain't gonna marry you. They don't really care. Okay, we'll see about that. Huh? I heard you, Mr. Black. We'll see about that. No? Because all the videos online, they begging and pleading. They're not even 30 yet. They're in their late 20s begging and pleading. We'll see about that. Huh? Jason Black ain't 100% incorrect. Mr. Z's been around spiteful ass black women. We all been around the women who just for their pride and ego. I don't care. Huh? I don't give a F. Z, please, for the love of God, Z, please don't play it. Z, you ain't gonna play it, right? Here you go.
Decenter men. This is not coming from a place of hurt, trauma. This is coming from a place of peace and happiness. And I just remember when I used to go out, and I used to just go out just to have a good time, laugh, great conversations, and just being a personality. My personality wasn't about getting a man. It was just about having fun. And I just want to get back to that. I just want to get back to me. And I'm tired of social media. I'm wanting to decenter men, decenter social media. And I just want to just be about me. I want to be selfish and self-centered as an ex-people pleaser, because everything nowadays is about getting a man, keeping a man, having a man's baby. And it's just too much. And I'm just getting nauseous. Just thinking about it. There has to be more to life than just men. And so now that I have these centered men for my life, I find myself actually having a good time. I go out in social settings. The objective isn't to get numbers, to get a man, to get a date. It's just to have great conversation. And I've been enjoying myself. I have. I'm flirting. I'm having amazing conversations, meeting new people. And I'm just keeping it at that. And I like that. I feel in control. And I like how I have this I don't give a fuck attitude. And it's just very freeing. Whereas before, it was all about getting a man and hanging around women that wanted to go out just to get attention and to get a man. And it's just so exhausting. But now I actually go out. I'm actually having a great time. And I like it. I love it here, actually. I'm just tired of these videos. It's a man, it's a woman telling you, get a man, you need a man. You're gonna die alone. And I like being alone. I like it. It's peaceful. And this decentering men thing, I think it's necessary because a lot of women are exposing themselves to like temporary relationships just because they're listening to people online. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cute. I think it's funny because I'm a woman that actually enjoys being alone, right? I enjoy my aloneness. I think it's funny because some women feel like they're one-upping you because they have a temporary relationship. And I'm like, but your relationship is temporary. Even the women with rings, your marriage is temporary. Like, it's not lasting. It didn't last. A lot of women are in situationships, temporary relationships, friends with benefits, temporary relationships. They're just in these temporary relationships because social media is telling them that they need a man, or they should get a man, or hurry up, girl, better get your man before you hit the wall. It's like, it's just too much. And now I have moved to a space where I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And it feels so good because I just don't give a fuck. And nobody is going to force me to give a fuck. And I like it. And another thing, when it comes to this decentering men, I have embraced my masculine. I've embraced my feminine side. I've embraced my light feminine. I've embraced my dark feminine. I've embraced all of myself. And I love that for me.
Every time. You ain't never seen somebody so hurt, so angry, and so prideful ever. But hey, if rage was literally a temperature, there wouldn't be a condo or apartment she was in. It would have burnt to the ground. That would have been a nuclear blast. That would have been a nuclear fallout site. God, that would have been Hiroshima in this mug. Oh man. Huh? You ain't never seen somebody so angry, so prideful, and try to mask it with some type of empowerment talk ever. Huh? And I gotta read this one now. And KMS says, F you for the Yapping Yanny clip. We're gonna call her Yapping Yanny from now on. That's it right there. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. That's what we're gonna call her from now on. Yapping Yanny. Right? Ah. And thank you, Eric. By the way, so shout out to Eric. Eric was the one that sent the Twitter link for the for the young lady that debated Mr. Wilson and he beat her, but that sent the Twitter link and said, Z, look at this, white boyfriend. And Mr. Z was like, of course, right? Y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. And the Beckys are out, everyone. I ain't even gonna say. I'm not even gonna say. Hey, man, look. Black women, they choosing. Black women, they're choosing. Mr. Z got to keep on swiping his hand away. No, and Mr. Z is average. Bald Negro with 5'9" bald Negro with a gun, and they choosing. Y'all definitely losing out to this. The six, y'all losing the 6'1" guys. 6 feet and above. Y'all better stop. Black women, y'all better get in the habit of competing. Yes, even for black men. And if your pride won't let you, then lose. It's that simple. Dear black women, if your pride won't let you compete for black men and defend your position or get a better position, better yet, with and for black men, then lose. Huh? It's that simple. Right? Huh. So, and we're back. So, yeah, no, yeah. And Cam, I said, F you for the yapping Yanny clip. Look, Yanny to me, what made it so sad is you could tell it's bothering her. And I played the clip, I covered it. I'm gonna have to probably find a way to attach it to this, or play that every once in a while before this clip. Because a few years before that, it was a little while before that actually. You know, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put myself out there and I'm just gonna have fun and I'm gonna try to choose up and I'm gonna get me a man type talk." Right? That's how she sounded. What, 6 or 7 years before this? And clearly that didn't work for her. So now she sounds like this. And this speaks to, like, excuse me, losing, right? You know, sometimes you don't get what you want. And instead of us saying, and this is primarily directed towards women, towards black women, this is when their pride and their ego really shows. Instead of you saying, I wanted I wanted this type of relationship, I wanted this type of man, I wanted this type of lifestyle, and for some reason I can't get it. It's not working. These are my flaws. This is what I have to work on. And clearly, apparently, the men they just can't see over it. What we end up doing is either throwing a goddamn temper tantrum, like Real Talk with Yenny did there, or we blame it on the men, or we say we're being forced to. They're socializing us to want to be in a relationship with men. No, you're. See, I almost dropped that F-bomb, y'all. Oh, it almost came out. Ma'am, you're a freaking human being. We are social creatures. You, if you're heterosexual, you're supposed to want to be with a man. That's not something that's socialized in you. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. It's hard. Um, right? Y'all are some weirdos. They're socializing us to want to. And I can't get it, so now I'm angry. But I can't help myself because I was socialized this way. I was taught and raised this way. No, no, you weren't, ma'am. You're a human being. This is natural. The hell is wrong with you people? Huh? You can't accept that you can't fulfill this desire because you have a crap attitude, probably. Huh? Or your looks don't go as far as you wish and hope they would, especially not with a crap attitude. And God forbid, if you're a woman, a black woman in particular, with some money and some status, and you got a crap attitude, you're the worst. You're the worst. Huh? Because now you're even more angry because you could get the car and you have the nice condo and you go to the nice restaurants and you live the life you want to live, and these men with money won't bow. Well, huh? The men with money and status, the men with some education won't make themselves available and bow. Yikes. Huh? Thank you, Trell. It's factory settings. It's factory settings. They socialize us to want this type of thing and want this type of dynamic. Y'all give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But yeah, thank you for that, Trell. Yes, it's factory settings. Look, y'all know Mr. Z never talk. I never say, nah, it's better if you single. No, the only thing I say is better if you single is if this is one of those take your money, take your sanity, drive you insane, cause you to do something that gets you locked up. But we're human beings, Mr. This is weird. Wait a minute. Shouldn't it be the men talking like this with their pride and ego? Uh-oh. Isn't that what they say? It's the men, right? It's the men. Meanwhile, your daughters are all over the internet throwing goddamn temper tantrums because they can't get the rich, tall, good-looking man, whether they're into white men, black men, Latino, whatever they are into, Asian guys or etc. They can't get the rich, tall, good-looking guy to bow. Pay for everything and assert none of the power. Okay, yeah, that's it. And because they can't get that, they're throwing a temper tantrum all over the goddamn internet, Al Gore's internet. And meanwhile, whenever you talk to one of these old heads, it's the men need to grow up. Man, if y'all don't get the entire hell out of here with your bratty ass daughters, ain't nobody trying to marry or even subsidize your brat ass daughter. Y'all daughters are out here whole menaces, and you want us to pay for them and subsidize them? Absolutely not. You don't need to pay for. She's doing well financially. That don't mean anything. She still want to be paid and subsidized for. Slow ass, especially the white conservative dads, the worst. You know what? Actually, the white liberal dads are pretty damn bad too. The white men, white knights are the worst. Their head is so far up their ass that they're not paying attention to the environment and that their daughters are assholes. The reason why your daughter is 47, 37, no kids, never been married, and no prospect is because she's an asshole, bro. And KMS says, black men are matching black women's inaction with inaction, and black women can't stand it because they know the magnitude of us not giving a F. Black women's inaction equals not fertilizing the plants. Black men's inaction equals removing the sunlight. And there you go. And when you say sunlight, I think of BGS speaking about protect your light. I think of the idea of men men who often black men who often are the light in their family, the one who encourages, right? Because you see this. As a matter of fact, we've had this a number of times. Remember, it was a foreign woman that called in. Was it the Roger Report's channel? Was it BGS's channel? This is years and years ago. One of you will remember. And I think BGS or Black Uru asked her, like, what do you find attractive? What do you like about black men? And she didn't necessarily go to the physique first. She said black men's enthusiasm, black men's optimism. So when you say light, it's to me it has more than one meaning, right? Now, Mr. Z is not necessarily positive. Like, as a matter of fact, um, TMI moment with Z. Z had this conversation with Miss Z, and what she said, and it's funny because it's true. Um, he said one of the things she's appreciated about me is I will watch some of the most doomer stuff in the world. I will say some of the most doomer stuff in the world, and then giggle like a schoolgirl, like her words verbatim. And yeah, because she's right. Huh? And I said, yeah, babe, because you got to keep on pushing, right? You got to keep on going. You're like, yeah, these are things that are happening, and yes, it could happen to you or me, and yeah, the world's on fire, but the world's always on fire. Human beings are setting fires and putting fires out all day, every day. The world's on fire. The world's always on fire. Are human beings on that planet? Okay, the planet's on fire. Huh? So you know what's happening, and then you move on, and you keep moving on until it's your last day, and then ain't no more moving on. God called you home, and it's a wrap. It's done. But until then, what choice do you really have in the matter? So I agree with KMS about black men matching black women's inaction with inaction, and they can't handle that. I keep saying, the Kim Fosters are going to be okay, right? The Khadijas are going to be okay. There are a number of these folks that are going to be okay. Juicy is going to be okay, huh? A number, as a matter of fact, I only skimmed through it, but I see Michael Burns from Wisecrack interviewed FD Signifier yesterday. I want to say I only skimmed through it a little bit, but FD mentioned like pretty much none of the black women in Cornbread Tube have kids. It's just Juicy. And I think one other person they might have mentioned. A number of the black men have children and are married. FD, Consciously, Lil Bill, right? He didn't mention foreign, but foreign is another one. Foreign man in a foreign land. But like none of the women, y'all can't, bro. And this is what I keep on saying. Why are we listening to these people? When I say we, I don't mean us in particular. If black women purport to want to be married and have children one day, if that's what they say, and last time I checked, even for the ones that are the worst, the majority of them say that they do. Now, whether that's going to happen for them or not is a different conversation. If you want to be married and have children one day, why the hell are you listening to Kim Foster? Huh? The little antagonistic troll. Huh? I promise you we ain't going to do partner. I promise you that. To hell with what Khadijah is talking about. We're not doing partner. So you could kick rocks with that one. And so FD said it, and it's true. You look at a lot of these supposedly upperly mobile, YouTube content creators, the black women, so many of them are childless, no man in sight. A couple of them have dudes, but many of them, no marriage, no children, bro. No long-term relationship worth a damn. No long-term relationship in their history. What? And these are supposed to be your sage and your gurus. And then you wonder why you can't make it work with no man, white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise. Namely, obviously, black men. And you listen to Kim Foster. All right. As I said, eventually, I think Buddy Rose going to propose, and Kim Foster's going to say yes. She better say yes. Huh? And all of you that were following her and that are subscribed to her, now what? Huh? But I agree with Kim as black men are matching black women's inaction for inaction. Black women didn't appreciate, I keep saying this, that they were floating on the largest of mainly white liberals, white liberal women. They did not appreciate that. They did not appreciate that. They were floating on the largest of white women, white liberal women in specific. And as white men, but white conservative men, reel back some of that as America has to streamline as America has to streamline its economy, lean, mean, working machine. What is that going to do for women writ large and some of the BS jobs, some of the jobs that can be automated, some of the jobs that a software system could take care of? And then what is that going to mean for black women in specific? So a lot of these jobs were being subsidized by the government. A lot of these jobs were being kept open by the government. What happens when the tech guys say, screw that, man, we can do this for cheaper. We got the software systems, we got the automation to do it for cheaper. And that's going to hurt men. You better believe it's going to hurt men. It's going to devastate women, though. It's going to devastate women. And you think white women are going to be willing to sacrifice their job that they can maybe keep for another 10 years before automation bite them in the rear end? Another 5, 6 years before automation or software systems or machine learning bites them in the rear end? You think they're going to let that job go for you? Or you think they're going to be willing to throw you overboard so they can keep that job for the next 5 and 6 years, maybe 10 years? Right. And once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Well, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Look and see. Not even saying it the right way. And KMS says, FD is a great content creator until it gets to mating and dating. Yeah, well, FD has been trained with feminist theory. So he just doesn't appreciate the hypocrisy of it all. And he matched up with his lady in his early 20s. I think he met his wife in college in his early 20s, bro. 21, 22 type thing. Bro, you don't know what the hell is going on out here, FD. You don't appreciate. It's one thing, FD, to see what the men are talking about on the internet a little bit. It's a whole different thing to experience it. It's a whole different thing. Huh? And you in a leftist space, you don't really appreciate how many of those women who occupy the same space as you are full hypocrites when you put their back to the wall. When you put their back to, I keep saying this, when you put black women's back to the wall, women writ large back to the wall, and present them with the men that they say that they prefer, when you present them with these kind of, let's see, with these supposed progressive, equal men, they run for the hills. They're not attracted to that. The juices don't get flowing. If you know what Mr. Z mean, giggity. Huh? Yikes. Huh? And Bruce Owen Wayne says, and thank you for the super chat, 106,000 in 1 month isn't enough. Trump, do your job. I don't want to see them lose their jobs, to be fair. I'm not going to dance on their misfortune. What I will say is this wouldn't be the end of the world if you were on a black man's program. If you were coupled up with a black man, if you were in long-term relationship, if you were married to a black man, yes, that would hurt both of you, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. But when you are by your goddamn self and you lose a job, particularly as a woman, when you are by yourself and you lose a job, and the average time people spend looking for work is what, some 6 to 9 months? I think it might be even longer than that, right? Y'all gives you a second. We're gonna look this up right now. Y'all gives you a second. I'm still looking. I'm still looking. Better You's in here. I thought Better You might have did some research on that at one point. I'm looking to see how long do people spend. Looking to see how long it take people in between jobs. Uh, yeah, we can't find it right now. We'll look for it another time. I'll have it. I'll have that ready for you guys the next time, right? But that's what happens when you do your hyper independence thing, right? When you do your hyper independence thing, this is what you have. Yikes! Yikes! Huh? So I'm covering Sarge Willie Pete speaking about the first right of refusal from black women, right? And how we don't owe them that. Sarge, unfortunately for black women, we don't owe them that. We don't owe them that. I'm not saying this is sustainable. I'm not saying this is right. What I am saying is this is the precedent that black women themselves set, particularly online. This is the precedent that they said. This is what they wanted. There's a consequence for you talking crap. There's a consequence for that. And maybe you don't feel it, but you're going to have to watch your sister and feel it. Huh? Kim Foster not going to get hit by a lot of this stuff. She going to have to watch other black women get hit with it, though. Huh? Chrissy not going to get hit by a lot of this stuff. Chrissy's going to have to watch other black women get hit with it. And yes, you're going to blame it on black men. And if y'all built this, and if y'all had that, all that sound nice. Is that going to help your sister? Nope. Huh? So for all of the folks that's talking crap in black men's head, and black men don't owe black women being there after black women give black men their ass to kiss. How? What the hell? What society is this? After you give if you insult someone, you make fun of them, you mock them, right? There's a group of folks you go so far as saying that Their unborn children should remain that way. Unborn. When you're going through hard times, that person doesn't owe you anything. A positive gesture, moment of kindness, many of us live off of that. Many of us, most of us, I would say all human beings, if it wasn't for a random person looking out for you here and there, where would you be? If it wasn't for help from others, if it wasn't for mentoring, if it wasn't for tutoring, if it wasn't for a person pointing you in the right direction, where would you be? But you can't continue to be antagonistic to black men and then expect them to be there when you need them. And a number of black women have taken it upon themselves to be rude, mean, and snarky to black men, to individual black men in their lives, to black men online, to mock and make fun of black men, to continue to yap on about how they don't need and they don't want and they're not settling. And now you might have fell on hard times. Black women might be going through it right now. Huh? And what are you going to do when you don't have that type of help? You have mom's help, maybe. You might have older or younger sister's help, maybe. Maybe a male sibling, possibly. But a spouse? What spouse? Huh? A spouse? What spouse? Huh? Yeah, black women are going through it. Yeah, we know.
Black women, they are doing the same thing to us that they did to black men 40 years ago, which is pushing us out of the workforce. That's what they did to black men. And that is what caused the major divide within our community with regards to the gender wars. We saw black men the way they wanted us to see them because they didn't have the upward mobility that we had because of our jobs that we were able to get in the federal government. For one, the federal government was one of the biggest job employers for black women, and they're pushing us out left and right. We lost more jobs last month than any other demographic, and those jobs are not coming back. And if they come back, they not gonna give them to us. I don't care what degree you got, because you can see right now they don't care nothing about those degrees. As soon as we started getting it, they ain't mean anything anymore. I say this to say we gonna have to work with black men. Whatever grief you got with black men, get over it. It's time for us to work together. We need them and they need us, and this is just more proof of that.
And she said, whatever grief you have with black men, get over it. She know. She might even be one of them. Huh? Sarge, I'm not saying this is sustainable. I'm not saying that this is a positive thing. What I'm saying is appreciate that black women, Sarge, we're talking about young men. We're not talking about us. Sarge, you're in your 40s. Mr. Z is about to be 40. We're not talking about us. We're talking about brothers under the age of 35, under the age of 30. Definitely under the age of 30, they live their life on the internet. They've spent their entire. Have you checked out those clips on TikTok from the brothers in their 20s? They've spent their life, black women giving them their ass to kiss. Huh? This is not our generation. This is not R&B, Boys to Men, R. Kelly generation. That's not them. They're not the Jodeci and yeah, we're millennials, but and this was mainly Xers, but still, we grew up with that. They're not the Jodeci and Jagged Edge and right, the Drew Hill era. That's not them. The Brian McKnight at the wedding era, the Luther Vandross at the wedding era. That's not them. They're from the get the bag cash out. If you like me, link me, hit my Cash App era. That's the era they grew up in. Huh? The young men, that's the era they grew up in. Under the age of 30, Huh? So that's what you have to appreciate. These young men grew up in the Nicki Minaj era. They're coming of age with Cardi B and Meg The Stallion, and come on, man. Yeah, we had Lil Kim. Yeah, we had Foxy Brown. Yes, yes, we did. Adina Howard in them. But that's those type of people, that's all they had. Huh? And you expect those men to have the same feeling of shame or guilt or obligation to black girls and women who were even more antagonistic, more snarky, more white peen chasing for validation. Z Ramen again. You expect those men, those young men who are 24 now, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, you expect those men to think and to feel that black women have first right of refusal on them? God forbid he's successful. God forbid the white women been choosing on him since high school, since early college years. The Latinas been choosing up on him since high school, since early college years. And now that black women might have run into the wall again of white racist men, now black women want to continue to emphasize their first right of refusal? Absolutely not. Nope, nope. Those young men not going, bro. They're not going. Huh? Yikes. And KMS is, and thank you for the super chat. Black women being assholes is almost kicking them in the ass. It's almost kicking them in the ass more than being black in America. Shout out to completely effing your ish ish up. Damn. Look, it I don't think it trumps them being black in America, but I do think it makes things more difficult and harder. That's what I'm saying. I think it makes what is already going to be difficult, a difficult trek, even more difficult. I think the last thing you want to do, you have to appreciate the power dynamic in America. I'm not saying you adhere to it in an enthusiastic way. Appreciate what it is. Appreciate that white men still have the predominant say, wealth, and power in America, social, economic, and political power. And when you allowed yourself to be the mascot for everything negative liberty concerning women, appreciate how you left yourself out there for white men to target and destroy. Right? And y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. And we're back. All right, you guys. Like I was saying, to Sarge Will Pete, we don't owe them that. We don't. It's unfortunate. It's not sustainable. It's not being a good community member, somebody that's part of community. Um, no, and I won't own any of that. And say that it is. I'm not saying this is sustainable. I'm not saying that this is a positive development. What I'm saying is you cannot expect these young men to have grown up in an era where the women took everything off the table. Sarge, appreciate that the young women and their mothers took everything off the table. They took all the incentives off the table. All of them, right? Could you imagine if you were a young man and you somehow magically fell onto Chrissy's page and you think the way she's speaking would have shamed you into wanting to do more for black women? Excuse me. Or do you think that listening to her would have made you say, you know what? F what they talking about. Cynthia G. Cynthia G was on Fox Soul. Amala Ekpunobi, right? You hear Khadijah talk about partner. Appreciate how many of the young men who the left should have had easy cakewalk it should have been for them, who are voting Republican, and they're saying, unlike Xers, unlike boomers, young men are saying feminism has gone too far and feminism is a problem. Young men are saying this. Not 40 some odd year olds, not 50, 60 some odd year olds, 20 some odd year olds. And they're being hit with all the hypocrisy. That's why Mr. Z plays the clip: protect, provide, and shut up. That's what the young men are being hit with. And I wonder how many of us appreciate that, right? How many of us appreciate that's what the young men are being hit with, and that's why they sound the way they do? Protect, provide, and shut up. Absolutely not. That is why the young men are saying to hell with all of that. I miss when men used to provide, protect, and shut up.
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Huh? No, and it's no wonder that the 20 some odd years were saying to hell with all of that. They're avoiding the women. They're not going out like that anymore. They're not going to clubs. I'm planning on doing a stream about that again. It won't this time. It won't just be men not attending the mixers and the matchmaking events and the speed dating events. They're not even going out. The women are going out more than the men. Huh? Appreciate train tracks. Appreciate that the men are so over it. They're not even going out for the off chance, because when you're 5'6" and you're okay average, and the women are already telling you online, yeah, you're invisible to me. Why would you be going out like that? Particularly if you don't have, some great status about yourself, or you're not, really, really charismatic, or really, really good looking. If you're really, really good looking, maybe, possibly, maybe, right? But if you're not one of that, if you're not that, then absolutely not. Huh? Where's the clip? Let me see if I could bring that up for y'all, because I know I now and then. Let me see if I can bring it up. Y'all give me a second. There's a number of people already covered it, but I want to give my little 2 cents for now, and then I'll bring it up again when I cover that. When I cover it, right? New study shows millennial men, and I read the actual study, by the way. So I didn't just go off of this thumbnail. New study, and I'll bring that up when I actually cover this officially. New study shows millennial men are not interested in going out as much as the women. Huh? So when we talk about millennials, so we already know the oldest of millennials are like damn their mid-40s now. So yeah, right? But why would if we're on our grind now? The women are going out, they're doing their thing, they're doing brunch, they're going out with each other, right? Girls night out and all this other stuff. The men sit to hell with all of that, right? And rightfully so. The men sit to hell with all of that. I have stuff to do. I don't necessarily have to see my friends every day. We'll play Call of Duty together, right? We'll play Madden, whatever the hell, together. We'll play Forza together or Gran Turismo together. Whatever fighting game together. That's the beauty of being online, right? That's the beauty of online, right? We already know this, right? That gives you a second. There it goes. And yeah, once again, new study shows millennial men are not interested in going out as much as the women. Yeah, you're right. Here you go.
Having dinner with my girl, and I want y'all to just notice something. There's women, all eating there. Women, all eating there. And let's not forget right there too, because they're everywhere. Oh my god. I don't normally go out, but when I do, I go out with my girls, and I am seeing something, a trend. Girls are all going out with their girlfriends. There's not like one date.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yes, rightfully so. Rightfully so. Right? Oh, okay. Rightfully so. All right. So yeah, that's the way it should be. The men heard you, dear ladies. The men heard you. The men heard you say, if you don't have this type of money, hey, when you say if you don't have 50, if you don't make 50, excuse me, if you only make $50,000 a year, don't date. If you say this,
if you're making $50,000, don't date.
What?
I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you. When
You're not ready to. You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
Okay.
Everything costs.
Okay.
You can go for 22 walks in the park. Eventually, shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make 50,000, but you live in a shoe, and now you got expendable cash. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money. If she doesn't have the expectation.
and the bottom of the barrel bees don't want those guys either. Yes, I saw the clip with what's her name, Joy Taylor, speaking to Van Lathan and trying to frame it like it's the men, right? And we appreciate it. We already know why she's trying to frame it like that. We already get it, right? We already know this lady was throwing her box around trying to ladder climb using the box, right? We get it. We understand. We get it, and got exposed about it. And now she's on a tear to rip men apart because it ain't work for her. She got exposed. We get it. Don't expect her to admit it. Shout out to all the folks that actually expect women to admit or to say out loud when they're throwing a temper tantrum because they got exposed or something didn't work their way, so now they're going on a jihad against men, right? When you say the men are the problem, when you say if you only earn $50,000, don't date. If you make $50,000, don't date. You don't appreciate when the men said, "Okay, I bet." Huh? Shout out to all of the women, namely black women, who make these type of pronouncements, who say these type of things, and don't appreciate what that type of declaration then means for women, for black women. Huh? And what it means is this thumbnail. Sarge, we don't owe them anything. Huh? You don't say if you only earn $50,000 a year, don't date. When like half of men earn less than that. Half of men in America earn less than that. Huh? I'm not talking about the average. I'm speaking about the median. Give or take $1,000 here or there. Half of men earn just about 50 or less of varying ages. So when you say those things, do you appreciate what you're condemning the women to? See, women make these type of declarations as if it's hurting men. Okay, fine, it is hurting men. It's gonna hurt men. Men that earn 38 not gonna get no vagina. Yeah. What about the women though? Oh, so the women are gonna huddle up on all the guys who earn 100 plus, right? Those are the only ones who are going to be getting anything. So women are going to do what they're already doing, sharing the same men at the top, sharing the same about 20 to 35% of men. That's really what's happening. It's anywhere between the top fifth to the top third of men that all the women are sharing for the most part. That doesn't mean other men are not getting in where they could fit in, right? But women, definitely the top 20% of men, women are sharing those guys. Whether what puts him in the top 20% is his height, his looks, his income, a combination of all three, his charisma. Sarge, we don't owe them. We don't owe them. When they speak like that, we don't owe them. Let them go out and go have brunch and maybe munch on each other. Let them go have brunch with each other and then maybe munch on each other. We don't owe them. You don't sound like that and then think the men owe you on the other side. Huh? First right of refusal. Absolutely not. You don't sound like that and then demand to have first right of refusal. Huh? Especially when you essentially saying to half of men to kiss your ass. That's essentially what she's saying, by the way. Huh? That's what it actually ends up coming out to. Like effectively, that's what ends up happening. You're writing off just about half of black men. Actually, probably a little bit more than half of black men. It would be half of men in America. It'd be a little bit more than half of men, black men. So you get what you get then, huh? So I'm covering this because what Sarge said really got to Z the first right of refusal and black men's obligation, what black men need to do. And look, black women want to live free and fast. They want to do their own thing. They don't want to be told what to do. They want to practice negative liberty at the nth degree, and we gonna let them. And whatever the consequences are what the consequences are. And if white men decide to put a foot up their ass because they're putting a foot up white women's ass, then so be it. You know? And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Inspired Truth says, morning stream. Salute. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. right? So be it. Who said it was supposed to work? It's not going to work. I know it's not going to work. It's not sustainable. I get it. Huh? I'm reading through you guys' comments. My apologies. I actually want to read one out loud. Give me a second, yo. Give me a second. But yeah, so I'm only expressing with me what many black men are thinking and feeling. Right? Black women might be about to go through it because the system is readjusting and reorienting itself. That doesn't mean black men are going to be immune. That doesn't mean that black men are not going to get hit by this. It does mean that black women are being hit by this now. That's happening now. And I think I read a comment in O'Shea's comments that said black women lost 106,000 jobs and black men gained 100,000 jobs. If that comment is true, whew, it's about to be some stuff. Huh? Y'all better come to the negotiation table with no bottoms on. Goddamn, Z. Huh? Mrs. Z said the other day, what negotiation? Oh no, they gonna be at that table. This is the one time y'all should be twerking on the damn table. Huh? We'll make an exception this time. This is the one time y'all should actually be twerking on the table. This is the time when you should actually be twerking on the table. Right now. Huh? Yikes. Huh? We will make an exception this time. This is the one time you should be twerking on the table, dropping it like it's hot, all of that. Bending it over, busting out, all of it. This is the one time we will make an exception this time. The negotiation table, yeah, you should be doing all of that. Huh? Huh? Yikes. Let me read this right now. Lion says, she's right though. What table? Nah, there's a table. There's definitely a table. Right now, there's a table. Huh? The women are about to make a goddamn table from. If there's no table, they're about to make a table from scratch. You'll see them chopping the trees down in front of your house. They're about to make a table, and they're gonna be twerking on that table too. Yeah. Afro Merchant says, not the reach back while throwing it back. Shout out to Accountable Commentary. Hey, Accountable Commentary, they're gonna be reaching, they're gonna be doing the reach back and the throwback. Ooh, goddamn. And the throw it back. Ooh. The reach back and the throw it back. Alexa, play Juvenile, please. Taking over for the 99 and 2000. Oh boy. Huh? Cash Money taking over for the 99 2000 and apparently 2025. Huh? Alexa, play the Mystical Shake It Fast, please. Thank you. Shout out to Inspired Truth, Louisiana, right? Play that Mystical, please. Play that Master P. Let me see you wobble wobble. Play all the booty shaking music. They're gonna need it. No? This is the one, dear ladies, this is the one time we will make exceptions for you twerking on the table. You should be twerking on the goddamn negotiation table. You damn right. Huh? I need to get it. I need to get that clip. You goddamn right. I need to get that clip because you goddamn right. Huh? Yes, you should. You should be twerking on the negotiation table. Yes, ladies, yes. For your own good. Huh? Yikes. And let me read this. Y'all gives you a second. And Lion says, and thank you for the super chat. He says, you know me, what they're qualifying themselves for, Z. D and distance. Huh? And I would say this is when black men should really show some D discipline, because black women are gonna go to, and women, because white women are on this too. Latinas are definitely on this. Don't get caught up with them Latinas on this one. They're gonna try to baby trap y'all asses. They're gonna try to get that money somehow, some way. And living off of child support, huh? The baby don't got no support, but she do. Huh? You better believe she gonna try to catch a baby. Shout out to all the Cynthia G delete unborn black male babies. Yeah, nope, not black women, not now. Oh, she definitely gonna try to baby trap you. You better believe it. That's income coming in. Haha, pun intended. That's a double entendre on that one. You better believe it. Alexa, play Boosie and Jeezy. You better believe it, please. Huh? Yikes. KMS is tip rail table, right? I'm thinking tip drill table. Goddamn, Z. Ooh, 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 ooh. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? For their own good. Huh? I agree with this. I agree with this. And Jake says, too much disrespect happened. There has to be consequences for all the BS black men received. I agree. I agree. Huh? And Saint Sir says, Latinas and black women are made fertile for real. Don't get caught lacking out there. I'm telling all the brothers, be careful. Huh? I'm telling brothers, be careful. Yikes. And Better You says, I'm gonna go look into the black men gained 100 jobs part. I know that the unemployment rate for black workers increased while it generally fell for the country overall. Yeah, that's not a good look, right? Huh. That's not a good look. Huh. Black men, you have to be careful. Okay, okay. And Better You says, so I think that, excuse me, I think that person was talking about jobs gap between black men and women. According to this, it shrunk by 250,000. The jobs gap? Okay. So would black women have more jobs than black men? Is that what it is? Huh? And he says it's at its lowest reported rate since tracking, according to HBCU Money. Right? It's getting cold. I, it's getting cold as F outside, bro. I said it. I went back and forth with a young lady the other day in that same post with FD, right? I went back and forth with a young lady the other day about it. It's getting, and that's one of my comments I put. It's getting cold outside, and black women don't appreciate it. Leave them be, dear black men. Leave them be. Leave them be. It's gonna hurt. For some of us, it's gonna hurt, and for some of the other of us, it's gonna be something where y'all giggle. Y'all gonna do a Mr. Z giggle for that one. I'm not about dancing on their misfortunes, even though they dance on ours. I'm not about dancing on their misfortune, With that, I am about saying what you thought. What did you think it was going to be? What you thought you was going to be floating on a cloud of white women's largesse forever? Oh, wait, you didn't think that you were floating on a cloud of white women's largesse. You didn't appreciate that it was white women's largesse that kept you where you were. Oh, that's unfortunate. Huh? Like, not you too, Lion. Okay, now I gotta really do it because you're like the third or fourth person. And Lion says, you should start a Discord, Z. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. If I tell y'all with, man, reckless streams, don't put it in the comments. Don't put it in the comments. Look, that will be one of the first things I tell y'all about if and when, not even if, I start this Patreon, right? That's gonna be one of the first things I talk to y'all about because, yeah, huh? It's craziness, y'all. I'll tell y'all what it is then, right? I'll set whatever with Patreon y'all gotta pay, right? It feels weird, like a paid subscription thing to Z. I don't know, that it still feels cringy. I know last time I said it, somebody in the comments said, Z, do it. But yeah, just but I'll there's there's a reason. There's a reason why it's taking me so long, especially over the past few weeks. I'll explain that then. Right. Behind the scenes. Yeah, I'll do that then. And Samuel says America can no longer afford subsidized black women's independence. I don't think America can afford much of any of those type of programs. I think you're still gonna have social programs. I think they're gonna cut them real thin though. I think you'll still have unemployment in just about all the states, especially the red states. Like that, that'd be the funniest thing in the world. The red states are the most conservatives and the most cut taxes. Meanwhile, they have like some of the highest unemployment rates, lowest household income. Like it just be the craziest thing in them southern states, right? But yeah, no, I think it's not just about subsidizing black women's independence. I think this is why I want to be careful. I think they're going to have to change their subversive tactics on black folks because they can't afford to put the thumb on the scale for black women like that. Now it's about who's more productive. And if America has decided, yeah, we still don't like the Negroes, yeah, we're gonna still try to keep them away from our white daughters, even though they don't realize that. I think they do realize that their daughters are the ones feeding, but they gotta tell themselves something different. If black men prove to be more productive than black women, that's not even debatable. Then yeah, America would choose to, if it has to choose black men over black women, it will do that. We're not in the era anymore where they're going to sacrifice the money to lock black men up in that way. I'm not saying they still are not desirous. I'm not saying America is still not anti-black. I am saying if anti-blackness is going to cost them productivity now, with China nipping at their heels, surpass them in different metrics, America can't afford to spend the money to put the thumb on the scales against black boys and men. I'm not saying they still won't engage. I'm not saying that if you are caught lacking, they will still gladly lock you up, gladly delete you. I'm saying that that isn't productive. It's never been, but now they really can't afford to do it. They couldn't afford to do it before, but the gap was large enough between the US and everyone else that they still did it. Now the gap isn't that large between, and that's just GDP. In other metrics, China already surpassed the US, right? But in GDP terms, the gap isn't large enough anymore. There's a lot of things the US got to streamline, right? So it's not just only being able to afford subsidizing black women, it's subsidizing women. Black women are just going to feel that the worst. They're going to feel that the most, but yeah, no, it's subsidizing women's BS jobs. If you're a woman and you were doing something productive, then yeah, maybe you're okay. If especially, but here's the thing: productive dependent on what JD Vance, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and the likes of Vivek think. I know he's not part of Doge anymore. I know. But yeah, what the Viveks think is productive. And so, yes, you might be doing a productive government job and you are being productive, but they think that you should be turning a blind eye to whatever schemes they scheming on. And so, guess what? For them, you're not productive. You're in the way, right? Oh boy. It's productive determined by whoever the days are. Uh, Productive as determined by them. And that could get real ugly, right? And thank you for that comment, Samuel. Thank you for that. And Eric says, and thank you for the super chat. You saying they believe they didn't have government help. I think a number of good black women don't think that they had government help. They don't appreciate the NGOs. I think the Kim Fosters do. I think Jasmine Crockett does. I think Juicy does. I think Cheska Lee does. Right? I'm not putting her in the same exact category as the rest of them, but still, I think Cheska Lee does. I think those folks know. Right? There are a number of black women that know. Most, I would argue, don't. Right? They don't know about the Goldman Sachs and the $10 billion that was supposed to come. They don't know. They don't appreciate it. And they don't appreciate, okay, even if they do know, they don't appreciate how much that changes the trajectory of their life. Right? And of the trajectory of black women writ large. That doesn't mean that black women become, the most the wealthiest women in America. That doesn't mean that. But it does give them a cushion that they wouldn't have in any other situation. And so, yeah, no, I think a number of black women do not appreciate how much what they have and where they are is because of Bill Clinton, right? It's because of Barack Obama. It's because of Democrats or liberals. It's that. It's because of where America was in the Cold War against the Soviet Union and that window that black people got to exploit of America saying, look, we're not as racist as the Soviets paint us out to be. Look, they keep on throwing black people in our face, but look, mayor. Yeah, we have black mayors, and look, we have black entertainers, and we have black people with money. And a number of black people in general don't appreciate that. Yeah, you got it on the window. Because look what happened after the Soviet Union fell. Uh-oh. Now that China is on America's ass, there's another window that black people can exploit. That's another window. And yeah, America's going to throw the Uyghurs in China's face, and then China could throw the Negroes in America's face. They already have. Yeah. And once again, if you have a myopic worldview, then you don't appreciate that there's a window forming that black people can take advantage of. Black women may not really appreciate. If you really believe in black girl magic, then you don't appreciate how much of your position is because of NGOs in government, right? Local, state, federal government, tax cuts, right? Quotas, affirmative action. Yes, we know it benefited white women the most. White men of different backgrounds the second most. We know. But still, black women, you don't appreciate that. You don't appreciate that affirmative action allowed for you to check off 2 boxes, maybe 3 if you're LGBTQ, and what that did to the employment of black men. But what happens when the government says we're no longer going to honor that? Because now you have a Republican administration that says to hell with all of that. You have a Supreme Court that's what? How many conservative justices on there? So what happens to Black women being counted as black plus women. What happens to intersectionality when Donald Trump is president? When JD Vance, who has a chip on his shoulder, is vice president. I told y'all, JD Vance is a white manosphere guy. What happens when the white manosphere guy is vice president? Dear black women, what does that mean for you? Particularly when he sees people like you as the antithesis to what he stands for. Huh? As the face of everything he's against. So yeah, I'm saying that a lot of black women do not appreciate how much government help they had. Huh? Yikes. Okay, that gives you a second. And Pastor OG says, Nazi, you need one. You and Uruki get loose. On Patreon, I'm gonna try. Right. Okay. Better you. I don't understand that comment because I might have missed the comment before. Let me see. Okay, there we go. The gap went from 790 to 480 from February to March of this year. From February to March of this year. The gap between black women and black men? I ain't even gonna read that comment, do something. That's hysterical. I hope not. Right? Inspired Truth, you ain't supposed to encourage me. Inspired Truth says twerking on the table is far safer than the cars. You come out to South Florida for Memorial Weekend, and that's what you're gonna be seeing. You come out to not just South Florida, South Beach in particular. You come out to South Beach on Memorial Weekend, and you're gonna see that right out the sunroof, on the hood. Bought it for you UK guys, right? Oh man. And I agree with this. And Samuel says black women's ultra feminist bullhorn was also radicalizing other races of women. I would say yes. I don't want white women to go unscathed from this critique, though. White women put a battery in all their backs. Black women would have never Black women would have never been able to be this out there if they weren't encouraged on some espionage crap, on some counterinsurgent crap. If they weren't encouraged by white women, white men and women, white women encouragement and money, but white men's money. If black women weren't encouraged with this bull, they would have never been able to do this. It didn't matter what they felt. They would have never been able to do none of this. This antagonistic to black men, if it wasn't for white men, there would be no Cynthia G. If it wasn't for white women, she could have had those sentiments all she wanted. She would have never been able to express it. There would have never been a Cynthia G. Huh? Appreciate that. Huh? So y'all remember what happened to homegirl from Harvard? What was her name again? The dean. They got rid of her. Blink. What was it? A couple months? Was it even? Claudine Gay. Boom. Claudine Gay. I remember. Claudine Gay. Haitian sister. I think she was born and raised here though. Right? Right? So that's what would be happening. If when white men are through with it, what happens is what happened to Dr. Sabrina Strings when she spoke to the dudes in the UK. What happens is what happened to Claudine Gay. Huh? What happens is what happened to what's her name? Shirley, was it Shirley Sherrod? Shirley, the older sister that was working for the agriculture department under Obama's administration. And they thought she said something quote unquote anti-white. They thought she said something that was against white folks or that she was discriminating. They got rid of her ass. Blink. They made her resign on the side of the road. She had to pull over on the side of the road. That's what happened when white men said, "Yeah, no." That's what happens. So you better believe that black women were being encouraged by white society to screw over the black community, which means that in many respects they were screwing over themselves. A couple of them got to benefit from that, not the masses. All the masses got was encouragement talk. The masses of black women, what they got was live vicariously through Oprah, live vicariously through Whitney, live vicariously through Mariah Carey, live vicariously through Toni Braxton, through Vivica A. Fox and Lisa Radham, right? Huh? Sing the Tony, the not Tony, what's love got to do with it? Joint, huh? That's what you need to be on. And huh? Well, I wanted to say Tony instead of Tina Turner. I don't know why. Right? But yeah, so that's what they got. So yeah, no. These people were encouraged. But I would argue that black women were on this anyway. That's how they felt. That's how they thought in many respects. For many of them, I would argue even more of them became like that. And they were on this so much because they were being encouraged. They were being funded by the dominant society. And that's why I gave the examples that I gave. Once the dominant society was through with them, or once the dominant society says, "Yeah, we just not gonna let you talk," then they flex, and black women can't do nothing about it. Sabrina Strings couldn't do nothing with the dudes in the UK when they kicked her off. That's it. It's done. That's the end of the conversation. That was rude as hell what they did. They did that on purpose. We brought you in to tell you we're not listening to you. We're gonna mock you and then kick you off. Let's not forget who the hell white men are. Huh? Look at what the white dudes did with Claudine Gay. All these people are plagiarizing. You think they really got her out of there because she's plagiarizing? Or you think they got her out of there because she refused to put the stomp down on certain things that was going on the Harvard campus? But they couldn't really get her off on that. I mean, they couldn't get her on that better yet. Huh? Anyway. Huh? So yeah, when the white folks say, "Yeah, you shall go no further," that's what they mean. So black women know where their bread is buttered. When Kim Foster was talking about the passport bros, she knew what she was doing. She was attempting to yell out to white society, polite white society, to flex on black men in particular for her because she don't got the power to do nothing. Her and other black women can't stop nothing. She was begging the white authorities to check black men for her and for the women like her, the black women like her. So it's white society. I would yeah. The ultra feminists, I get what you're saying, Mr. Samuels, but yeah, they have a blower now. What I will say is black women allowed themselves to be, not even just allowed, they enthusiastically allowed for themselves to be the mascots for the BS of feminism. But don't ever get it twisted that they weren't encouraged by white men and white women, namely white women. Maybe funded by white men, but definitely you better believe there were white women living vicariously through them with the BS and encouraging them with the BS. No? Yeah? Man. Exactly. And Eric Denman says, yeah, she made that statement so that the FBI would investigate the passport bros. Yeah. Right. Huh. Man. No, I agree. And Samuel says, I agree, but black women became Frankenstein with it. I agree. I agree. I agree with that. Right? Exactly. Right? And better you says, America, look at you, despicable. Um, you treat your Uyghurs. China, look how despicable you treat your niggas. Exactly. Exactly. Right? Exactly. Ah, right. So I ain't gonna keep you guys too much longer. Um, I just want to kind of speak on those things. So yeah, the light skinned sister, whatever, however old she is, who had the debate on the whatever podcast, she has a white boyfriend. Link is in the description box, everyone. And all the white guys on Twitter are like, essentially, they're saying different things, but it's essentially it boils down to typical, right? Some of them are slow on the uptake. They don't really appreciate what this is. The rest of them get it. They know that black women and women of color are full of crap. Black women in particular, I will say this. I will say this, and I want us to be careful with this. Also, don't let the white guys minimize black advocacy because black women are with white guys. We say it for a different reason than they say it, right? Be very careful with that. The white guys are going to say things that sound similar to us. Maybe every once in a while that sound the same, but it's not the same, right? It is not the same. We got to be careful with that, huh? So I want us to be a little careful with that. So there's that. Um, but yeah, so the dudes in the comments were essentially making fun of her and mocking her, and doing the whole feminist in the streets, colonizing the sheets type of talk. I don't know how much I disagree with them on that one, because that sounds like a whole lot of leftist women of color, right? They pump all that crap, and then they end up with the white guy, and it's, you don't appreciate that. I'm not against white people. I'm against whiteness. I'm against white supremacy. I'm a that talk. And all the rest of us, everyone who's not like a super staunch, like all the way falling off the table leftist is like, I don't know. So I covered that today. What else we covered? Um, we covered Sarge Willie Pete speaking about, first right of refusal. Yeah. I don't know. Huh? I mean, Sarge, we don't owe them that. It would have been a different conversation if you were talking about black women who, okay, let's say black men were in the exact same position they are in now in an alternate universe, but black women stayed fighting, stayed advocating, stayed pushing. It's just our white society was like, no. That would be a different conversation. If with high speed internet and easily accessible internet on your phone, if you could find video after post of black women saying, we riding with black men no matter what, I don't care, right? That would be a different conversation. But the antagonism, the sexism, the misandry, absolutely not. You better believe we don't owe them. We don't owe them first right of refusal, Sarge. We don't. Right? And y'all gives you a second. And we're back. Yeah, we don't, Sarge. We don't. We don't. And then finally I covered O'Shea Duke Jackson covering the black women who lost jobs, and the black woman who said, "Isn't that we're losing jobs, or isn't that we're starting businesses?" And that look, man, the LLC Twitter is gonna get a whole lot of black folks messed up. Number one. Number two, ma'am, you sound delusional. This sounds like a person who cannot just accept reality. and move on. You accept reality, you do what you can do, you fight your hardest, you work your hardest, and you move on. But you can't work your hardest and fight your hardest to stay above water if you can accept reality first. You first have to accept that you are in the water for you to swim out of it, or for you to keep your head afloat. But you got to accept you're in the water first. This lady sounds absolutely insane. Isn't that the black women are getting let go? Isn't that they're getting fired, or is it that they're starting businesses? And all this, I'll just reinterpret it to make myself feel better. Talk. Oh, huh? And Southern Purchases, and thank you for the super chat. Um, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. He says, my department just turned in a research report showing that 600 to 700 repos weekly on cars from 2022 to 2025. Goddamn, with less than 20,000 miles, mostly women with 1,000 monthly payments. I will send it to you when we get it back. Wow. I think it was like, was it almost 20% of new cars have $1,000 or more payment? Something like that, right? Because the average new car is something like $750 a month, give or take a dollar or two. The average new car monthly payment. So we said this, and I won't say who said this before, but a number of y'all have said it, and including a couple of the PhDs in the space, that like sisters pulling up to them with Benzes doing Uber Eats, right? Like, y'all know how Mr. Z is with the advice. Like, I give it out rarely. I even feel reluctant about that type of stuff. I guess I'll ask a question then. Can you afford the car if you have to do Uber Eats? Huh? If you have to do Instacart, can you afford the car? I know what environment we live in. I know about the gigification of the economy. Y'all know Mr. Z is not about it. I think it's some real sneak crap that they're pulling right now with keeping the unemployment rate artificially low using gig jobs, and essentially what we're being is being the essentially the maids for the top 20%. We're their maids. We're the help now for the top 20%. The gigification of the economy is so that they can snatch back all the labor rights laws, and the you can't easily be fired and all of that stuff. Because all the gigification of the economy does is they could turn off you from the app arbitrarily with no review, no anything. You don't get paid time off. You don't get health care. You don't get any of that. So to Z, it's some real sneak stuff they're doing with the gigification of the economy. But the question, once again, is, can you afford the car? Can you afford the Tesla 3? Can you afford the Benz CLA, C-Class, GLC, right? GLA, GLB, the Tesla Model Y, the Kia Telluride, right? The Acura TSX, can you afford it? Huh? The Infiniti Q50, what else we got? The BMW 3 Series, the BMW X3, the X1, can you afford that if the Toyota Camry? Well, if you can't afford the Toyota Camry, then goddamn. Can you afford the Camry, the Altima, not the Altima, the Altima, the Optima, the Kia Optima? Can you afford it if you have to do Uber Eats? Huh? If you have to do Instacart, if you have to do Grubhub, if you have to do, right? Uber or Lyft. And on that one in particular, yes, I'm kind of getting on the individual, but not only y'all know how Mr. Z is. I'm also getting on the system. This ish is not sustainable. Them hiding the unemployment rate behind gig jobs, man, when this thing blow open, pause, it's gonna be crazy. I'm calling it now. Huh? So yeah, Southern Purchase. I bet they pulling up to your house, a front of your house with, you know, God forbid they have the bids GLE GT, the one with the curved roof. Don't be pulling up to my house in no goddamn 60, $70,000 Benz, 60, $70,000 Beamer, jumping off my goddamn Instacart. Huh? No, Z, I just do it for a little loose money, bro. Stop it. Huh? You might engage in that because you had an emergency purchase, but even with that, see, I can't even give you that. But okay, fine, okay, huh? But you doing this week in and week out. That's not. We got a brother in this space who, he fell on hard times for a little bit and he was engaging in that. He might be still in here. I think he still is, but he owned it. We all knew what it was. He wasn't lying to himself about it. And he definitely wasn't driving around in no goddamn $70,000, $80,000 car, $60,000 car. And I'm a car head saying that. Huh? Oh yeah, you damn right. Els, how did I forget? That's more you guys though. That's more you guys in the UK. But yeah, we have that too. And Els says, don't forget about the Range Rover Evoque. Yeah, right. Yeah. And Els says, to be fair, I see a lot of guys doing Uber Eats in big cars, at least over here. Not so much at least where I am in the US. Not so much here. Yeah, you definitely see guys doing. I'm not saying you don't see men doing Uber Eats and all the other stuff. But yeah, nah. It's the ladies, bro. And not only that, it's what they're pulling up in. It's what they're pulling up in. That's the thing that gets you. Yeah. When they dropping off the package, you're like, what the, not the CLA pulling up, dropping off. Wait a minute. Huh? Like that, which you will not see, at least where I am in South Florida, is a man pulling up in a CLA dropping off your food. That's not a new CLA too. A CLA that's within the current model cycle. Somewhere within the previous 4 years, 2, 3, 4 years. Like that, you're not gonna see that. Not at least where I am. A dude pulling up in the Tesla Model 3. That you won't see. You'll see women doing it. Huh? Better you said, right. Better you said, Ish, I'm driving now. Make those ends. I start my new job Tuesday. Appreciate, but what I'm saying, better you, is you weren't lying. Not only that, you ain't pulling up in no goddamn, $45,000, $50,000 Benz, right? And you were very candid with the situation. I think that's what we all appreciated. You were very honest and very candid. I don't know how many sisters are gonna do that. Their pride and their ego won't let them. And that's another thing. Sarge, we don't owe people who pride and ego won't even let them admit that they goddamn struggling. So I'm supposed to beg you to save you? Get the hell out of here. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to beg you to save you. Yeah, nope. Black women could starve and drown for all we care with that damn pride. Huh? Absolutely not. Huh? No, ma'am. Nope, nope. Can't do it. Absolutely not. And that's what it really is, huh?
Look at me, look at me, look at me. If you were a single woman in Charlotte, North Carolina, look at me, okay? I was feeling great about myself. I was like, I'm a bad bitch. I'm single. I don't need no man. I actually really would love a man, and I do need a man. But just, this is what we say when we're single and we just want to. Anyway, folks.
Yep. Yep. That's what we say when we're single. Yeah, we know, ladies. We know. We know. Huh? TD Tellum says the gig jobs were never meant to replace jobs, though. It was presented as a quick way to get some money to hold you over. I think there are people that are doing that. Like, shout out to Better You. Better You's one of them. I don't think that's where we are. As a matter of fact, I think that's what they told us, but that's not what it was. Tinfoil hat on, tinfoil kufi, and do-rag and whatnot. I think it was all about artificially lowering the unemployment rate and pulling back some of those worker rights. Huh? I think I agree with you that that's how people use it, right? To hold you over between jobs and all this other stuff. I think that, like, be very clear. If Mr. Z fell on hard times and I had to do this, I would do it. Right? So I'm not saying I'm above it. I'm not. With that said, I don't believe the official whatever the hell. I think this is some really slick way of reeling back some of those labor rights laws and to keep the unemployment numbers artificially low. Because you go in as a quote-unquote private contractor. Right? So yeah, no, I see what you're saying, TD Tom, and I don't think you're wrong about what was advertised, quote unquote, officially. I don't think that's what it was, though. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. I don't feel, because I don't have any like hard stats on this, so I'm using the word think, and that's based off of something. This is just straight feeling. So I don't feel that that's what it is, right? Nah. I just don't. I don't trust the officials on this. I just don't. Democrat or Republican, I just don't. I don't trust them. Right. So I think what you're saying is what was pushed. I don't think that's what it is. Yeah. Mr. Shifty, stop asking me rhetorical questions. You know the answer to this. And Mr. Shifty says, Z, would you pay $1,000 per month for a 10-year-old your dream car? To me, Z, would you pay $1,000 per month for 10 years for your dream car? That yes, with a caveat. I would be mortified every single day for 10 years. Because that's a long ass time to be paying off a goddamn car. And I could throw away any house dreams I had. It's over for that. I'm gonna have to go put it in a storage unit when I'm not driving it. And be very clear, the Z needs work. I haven't driven it in a couple months, but when I was driving it, I drove it maybe once a week at most, once every other week. And there was a couple of months where I only drove it once a month. I drove it to work just to, stretch its legs, and then brought it back to the crib and parked it. Right? And it's a whole ordeal. You go, you check when you're about to drive it the next day, and I would drive it on certain days because y'all know Mr. Z, we don't gonna incriminate myself. But yeah, so you get home, you go, you put gas in it, you check the oil, you check the coolant, right? Because you're gonna drive it the next day. You're gonna put some miles on it. So, you make sure everything is good, right? Yeah, so 10 years, I don't know, because let's see, $1,000, that's 12 for 10 years. $120,000. But it's my dream car. No, because my dream car is an R33 GTR V-Spec, and those are way cheaper than that. I could get an R33 GTR V spec that's not a bucket for like 65,000. Low key, I could afford the car right now. I won't do it because that's it. Mr. Z would be maxed out. I got too much on my plate right now. And y'all know Mr. Z, I'm not going to be the guy in the black man shirt popping all the crap and then I'm over here living off a shoestring budget because I done bit off more than I could chew in life. But I could afford an R33. Well, I would have to get someone to approve me for the financing, but I could afford to pay for R33 if I could get the financing approved. I could pay the payments. I could do that, and it would cost me 2/3 at least by the time I'm finished paying on 2/3 of that 120. Nah. My dream car is way cheaper than that, right? Yeah. My dream car is cheaper than that. I could get into my dream car right now for like $65,000-$70,000, right? Now, if it was a new car for that much, I would get approved for the financing for that, because they came out in '94. I think they stopped making them in '98, something like that. So if I got like a '97, which is the year I would go for, V spec, about 70,000, right? If I could get approved for the financing, then yeah, even with interest and stuff, even if it came up to one 100 or something like that, or whatever, 85 or whatever it would be. Yeah, nah, nah, can't do it. Right. And Better Use says, I think pride shows up differently in men and women. In men, it's I don't want to be vulnerable. I want to make a way. And for women, it's in women, it seems kind of like a mix of swagging, begging, I think you meant to say. I'm not sure. And delusion/denial. Yeah, right. Yeah. Let me read this. And from Southern Purchase says the automakers are getting funded off production, off production numbers, productivity, and not sales. I know you're a Nissan guy. They lost 550 million. Yeah, no, Nissan is going through it right now. They're going through it right now. They got a new CEO, Latino guy. Um, they're going through it right now. They are going through it right now. Stellantis is too. There's a number of car companies. First of all, what you have to appreciate is like millennials and Gen Z just don't got it. We just don't got we don't got it. So all of these 70+ thousand dollar cars, like I said it the other day, who can afford it? Who can afford it? Mr. Z is doing a bit better than average. And I would not ever get under no $70,000 payment. I'm not doing for what 6, 7, 8 years? Absolutely not. Huh? So yes, Stellantis, Nissan, a number of these car companies are going through it. Ford is not exactly doing that hot neither, right? A number of car manufacturers are struggling right now, or not doing. They're not putting up the numbers that they should be. Yeah, people are going through it. People are going through it, so the auto manufacturers are going to have to feel that. $50,000 for a nice GT Mustang. Get out of here. Who can afford that? For a nice GT Mustang with all the fixings, all the bells and whistles checked off, I think it's a little bit over 50. Man, who can afford it? Huh? A Nismo Z, automatic, is listed for 60 some odd thousand. Now they went down, even new. They're in the 50s now. For the Nismo, they're in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, or early 60s. But still, nope. Huh? Why do that? I'm not a Tesla guy. Y'all know I'm not an Elon Musk person. Why do that when I could get a used Tesla Model S Plaid for 50 something, and that's 1,000 electric horsepower instant, and 4 doors and leather. I wouldn't do it because no principles, right? But yeah, a lot of the car manufacturers are feeling it right now. Y'all need to bring back the fun, cheap, fun stuff. SRT Forest type stuff, right? That's what the people are looking for. Like inexpensive for the guys. I mean the young men. And yes, you're risking them crashing into a tree and dying. True. With that, the fun, the inexpensive fun stuff. When the Type R Civic first came out, especially the second one that we got, the one that just came out. That I think it's the FK8. No, that's the other one. This is the I forgot what this generation Civic chassis code is, but yeah, 50 plus $1,000 for a Civic. I mean, like it's a really fast and nice Civic, but still, same thing with the Corolla GR. Who could afford it? I do see some of them around, but you know, oh, swaggy begging. Okay, I get it. Right, man. Ah, so yeah, no, the car manufacturers are going to feel it, and yes, Nissan is definitely going through it right now. Definitely, I hope they can hold on. That's my manufacturer of choice. Um, but yeah, I hope they can hold on. All right, they look like they're gonna try to bring back maybe the next generation GTR, a next generation S chassis, Sylvia slash 240. Right, for those of us in America, it was the 240 SXs. For other folks around the world, it was the Sylvia. Right, S13, S14, S15. Um, yeah, or the 200 SX for some of you in Europe. So yeah, apparently they might be bringing that back, and then they're just gonna have to make econo boxes, boring ass econo boxes for the everyday. So more Nissan Rogues. I think the Nissan Rogue is pretty high selling too, right? Nissan Rogues, Nissan Muranos, right? I know the new Sentra is coming out soon. I think that's the only sedan that Nissan is making right now for the US. Or is that the only one that's coming to the US for sedans? I think it's the Sentra. No more Maxima, no more Altima, right? Yeah, that's it. That's it, right? The Pathfinder is coming back. I think it's going to be. I'm not sorry, not the Pathfinder. The Xterra is coming back. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be like a off-roady electric SUV, which I'm kind of bummed about because I really wanted them to 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 essentially make it the Terra that's coming out of Australia, right? But yeah. So yeah, the car manufacturer's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work. Starman, you see me? And Starman says cheap, fun stuff that is extremely moddable. Right? Yeah. And Armando says, back in my day, 5.0s and IROC Zs wrapped around the poles every night on the news. That 5.0 insurance for my 16-year-old self was a no. Drove dad's Corolla. Look, man, of course, because you're dealing with, especially the Fox Body 5.0s. Fox Body 5.0's live rear axle. Yeah, they didn't make crazy power, but they made like what 200 and some odd, 280 some odd pound feet of torque or something like that, 300 pound feet of torque. But they made like 220 horsepower, something like that, right? Right. But like with a couple of mods and stuff, but then you dealing with the Fox bodies were light with a live rear axle. Like these are pole magnets. These are pole magnets more than strippers are, right? Same thing with the IROC Z, similar type of dynamics. Light, V8, all-wheel drive, torquey, and then you're dealing with some kid or even a early teen who's not that experienced. Those things could lose control easily in the dry. God forbid they're wet. And you remember, no traction control on top of that. Oh yeah, that's definitely, yeah, yeah. Right. So yeah. That's asking for problems. Huh. Allsped says, I'm in the Atlanta area. Don't get me started on chicks in Audi, Benz, and Teslas delivering food and doing Uber. It's you know why this to me is sad. Um, Imagine you have a number of folks telling you what they're not gonna do, what they're not gonna settle for, and being so animated about it, right? Being so with all the energy, all the enthusiasm about what they're not gonna do and who owed them what, and they're not gonna settle. Okay, cool. And yet they're doing Uber Eats, right? And like, keep your standards, cool. But like, at the end of the day, we know you're capping, right? We know we know you struggling, right? Huh? We know what you really doing is aggressive begging, right? You do realize
Niggas be
that.
so quick to let me take you on a trip. Let me take you on a trip. Pay a fucking bill. Pay a bill. Pay a goddamn bill.
Always begging. Damn.
Can we get on the phone? No, get on the phone with billing. Don't talk to me. Talk to billing.
Oh, thank you for that. And Minion says 5.0s made 225 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. Yep. And when they were like under 3,000 pounds, right? They were like 29. Well, for the notchback, for the hatchback, better yet, I think they were like 29. I think the notchback was even lighter. Yeah, bro. Like, come on, bro. This is in the era before them cars started weighing, before the Hellcats and the Scat Pack started weighing like over 4,000 pounds. Now we live in the era like, yeah, you get like a car with almost 500 horsepower in the Scat Pack, 485 horsepower, right? That's cool, yeah, but the car weighs like 5,000 pounds practically. I'm exaggerating. It weighs like 4,300 pounds though, right? So yeah. Armando says 5.0 was king until 93 when the 5.7 Z28 came out. Yeah, no, to me the game changer was the LS. The LS has changed the game. The LS has changed the game. The LSs from GM changed the game for American cars. Rear-wheel drive American cars, the LS changed the game, and it forced Ford to finally ditch the Windsor, the 4.6, better yet, and bring out the Coyote, right? Like, and that now we can start talking about Ford versus Chevy. But yeah, initially when the LS dropped, it was just GM. That's it. Ford didn't really have an answer for that. They slapped the supercharger on the Terminator, Mustang, Cobra, but yeah, they had to go back on the drawing board. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah. What else I was gonna bring up? Y'all got me on the car talk. Y'all think y'all slick. Right. So continuing, and TD Tellum says, just like welfare though, we got people who were gonna ride the gig jobs and not even focus on getting jobs. That's just the way folks are. I think you're right. I'm not only speaking about the individual though, but no, you're right. You're right. Right. And maybe we just don't. I mean, okay, cool. If you are a student in college living at home with your parents and you don't go get a 9 to 5, or well, maybe you can't do a 9 to 5, but you're doing gig work and you're driving your a Corolla that was passed down to you, a Sentra or one of those, right? A Hyundai Elantra type thing that was passed down to you from your grandparents or something. That's different. An old Buick or something that was passed down to you from a grandparent. That's a different conversation. And you're doing Uber Eats or Instacart or whatever, and you're getting like $200-300 a week, and that's all you really need to pay off a couple of bills and to be able to go to school and whatever. All right, that's a different conversation. That's different. But as you're saying, I was bad. If you think you're gonna make a life out of this, ooh, there is no holding yourself over in between jobs. There is no um I'm doing this while I'm working on a project, or I'm just doing this, while I'm going to school. I don't have the time or whatever for a 9 to 5. So the gig work is actually beneficial for you in that way. All right. But like as we're saying here, like how many people is that the case? Right. Yeah. Right. So yeah. And thank you for the super chat. TD tell him thank you for the super chat. Ah. And Ospat says, holding out for the dream white man that's going to come to save them um, from that lifestyle. Yes and no. Yeah, no. I think they hold it out for any man. Obviously, a white man is like having the white man is the tip top. That's the top of the hierarchy for them. But any man that's not hideous, I think Ebony K. Williams said it perfect when she was on Torre's channel, right? Don't turn me off. Don't be unattractive, but and let's see if we got fun or whatever. However she said it, but like I think your average, more quote unquote mature woman, I think that's how it starts for them. They already did everything fun with the guys they found attractive in their 20s. Now it's for them. It's like, don't be hideous. Don't have the worst sex game in the world. Um, be at least stable, and then let's see what we can make work. I think after all of that's out of their system, and what they don't appreciate is the man that meets you, if he's dealing with you at 34 years old, 35, he want enthusiasm too. Shout out to all you ladies who now you got your mind right. Now you found some dude that'll deal with you. What makes you think he don't want enthusiasm? He want you the way that when you were 24 years old, the guys that had you when you were 24, now that you're 34 and 35, he wants you like when you were 24. Yeah, you might not look exactly how you looked when you were 24, but why does he not get the enthusiastic you? Absolutely not. So the holding out for the white man thing, no, I think some women are. Some women of color, black women in particular, yeah. But after look, that pride crap, yeah, they spouting that crap on the internet. How much do they really mean it? Especially when times get hard. That's why I want us to be careful about who's finding us attractive now. How much do they really mean it, especially when times get hard? That's different, bro. All that I'm not gonna settle so you could brag to other black women, or you could brag to women writ large and black women in specific, right? Because that's what they're doing with the I ain't settling for this and this is what I wanted. It's trying to one up other black women. She says she won't settle for anything less than 100,000. I won't settle for nothing less than $250,000. All that crap. Half the women spouting that crap right now. Baby daddy make $38,000 a year. Shut the hell up. Huh? The guy that had you in the figure four in the goddamn janitor closet make $35,000 a year. Shut the hell up. Huh? They're full of crap, bro. Huh? Mr. Shook to you. And Mr. Shook to you says, Z, do you think Cassie's hubby get 10% of the adult fun time effort she gave Diddy when he is the one that actually married her? That's the issue. Nah, you know he doesn't. Come on, man. Cassie, shout out to Jason Black for reading some of the script, but Cassie was out here asking to do certain things with these freak offs. Look, man, the and shout out to all the women. They think they're so slick. Shout out to all. Look, he's such a strong man, and he's so secure in himself, and he's backing her, he's defending her. Yawn. But let's be very clear. He's not getting any of that. He might be getting, let's put it this way, he might be getting good triple X fun from her. He ain't getting great. He ain't getting jump off the ceiling fan. He's not getting what Diddy got. He know that too, by the way. He's not getting jump off the ceiling fan. He's not getting rug burns on her tongue type action. He's not getting sore throat type action. He ain't getting that. And I think a number of women want men to be okay. When you're guy number 7 and she's going to quote unquote settle down with you, she wants you to be okay with not having the experience that guy number 1 had, guy number 2 had. She wants you to just accept that all of her fun days were back there and you get what you get now. Whatever slops you want to throw on the table for you, you get that and be happy about it. And leave her alone. Yeah, we ain't doing it, bro. Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't think what's his face is getting any of what Diddy got, or not much of it, what Diddy got. You know. Uh, huh. Yikes, yikes, yikes. So y'all look, Mr. Z end out. We got things to do. Regular streams, y'all already know. So we'll pause right here. Love piece of chicken grease. This was random. I know, random different things I wanted to cover and speak about. Yeah, to Sarge, I'm gonna keep on emphasizing this. I'm not saying it's sustainable. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not putting a moral claim on it. I'm saying this is what black women wanted and they got it. We don't owe them any of these things, Sarge. So I'll pause right there, you guys. Um, love piece of chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content for the love of God. And Mr. Z out.